Mexico State women's baseball program. Just so you know, what we'll do is Dr. Boston will open with a few comments. He'll go ahead and turn it over to Coach. And then we'll open it up for questions. Also, members of the media, there will be opportunity for some one-on-ones afterwards as well. With that, introduce New Mexico State Athletics Director, Dr. Ken Boston.
Tyler, thank you very much, and welcome to a special occasion. First thing, I wanted to thank all the members of the search committee, and for those of you who are present, I'd ask you to stand and be recognized. Herb Taylor, Brad Beasley, Kevin Horner, Chris Delaney, Jeff Bernegas, Jeff in the back, Wes Jackson, Jim, I saw Jim over here, Jim Peach and Jim Liddon, thank you guys. Brian Conaway, Brian, thank you. Jerry Lujan, Jerry, and Coach Kathy Rodolph, who I know is not here. Guys, thank you very much for your involvement in this process. Please give them a round of applause. Thank you. Well, I'm pleased to announce Ryan Green as the new NMSU head baseball coach. Coach Green is a former Aggie baseball player and coach at NMSU and an NMSU graduate. Coach has a solid work history in preparing for this opportunity. He has worked as an assistant under quality coaches at San Diego State, University of Hawaii, UCLA, and most recently for the past 6 years at the University of Kentucky, where he was the offensive coordinator, hitting, and infield coach. One of Coach Green's players, A.J. Reed, just last week won the Golden Spikes Award as the top amateur baseball player in the country, and Coach obviously had a lot to do with that growth and success. We'd also like to welcome Brian's wife, Becky, back to NMSU. Becky is also a graduate, and Coach has 2 daughters, Emily 10 and Zoe 4. Brian, welcome back. Brian has signed a 5-year contract with the Aggies at $90,000 a year, and I understand he took a hefty pay cut to take this job, but Coach, welcome home.
Thank you, Dr. Boston. Well, thank you. You try to prepare for this moment your entire life, and I'm trying to prepare today in terms of, am I going to cry? I know I'm going to smile, but there have been a lot of fist pumps over the course of the last week. People looking at me and wondering why this guy's smiling so much, but it's because of this room and being here today. It's very emotional for me. I couldn't be more excited to be here, to return home, to be honest. I was a player here, I was a coach here, I was a graduate here, as was my wife, and you know, when you think about memories of when you put yourself back in the past, you typically don't think about what people said to you or what they did to you or for you, but you certainly remember the feelings that you had as an individual in your heart, and my heart is filled with happiness and special memories for Las Cruces, and being back here is one of the most special days of my life. So I do have a short speech prepared, and I'll just glance at it, but there's some things that I have to do or I have to say today. But it has always been my goal to be a head coach at the Division I level. But to be honest, it's always been my dream, and that's not coach speak or recruiting material. It's been my dream to be the head coach here at New Mexico State. And it's an honor to be here today. I love this city, I love the community, I love this university, and I couldn't be more honored to be back here. And I promise the alumni and the people involved in this room that you will get a very special effort from me and the coaches, because we are going to be honored to be here. To say this is a special day would be the understatement of my life, but there's some people that I have to thank. Obviously, the guy sitting to my left, Dr. Boston, for making this happen. Thank you so much. To President Carruthers, to Herb Taylor and the selection committee, I can tell you, as a candidate going through the process, It was his first class of an operation from Maria having to listen to me all the time with questions about travel and stuff like that. But it was his first class of an operation, as you could imagine, a 4 or 5 hour. It was outstanding, and it was organized, and I knew when I left the room where I wanted to be, even more so, and I felt a connection with the people that made me very proud, and I couldn't wait to get back. I've got to thank my family. Obviously, I've got some family here today. My folks, Tim and Luann Green, flew in from Los Angeles late last night and woke me up, and they didn't care. They were happy to be here. My wife.
Why don't you guys stand?
Stand up, Timmy and Lou. Becky's family, Janet and Ron Miller from Alamogordo, drove in yesterday to be here. Stand up. And to my wife, Becky, I'll tell you a short story about Becky. There was a bar that's no longer here where I met her in as a senior, and the moment I met her, I knew she was the one, and I really did. And she didn't think that, and she had no interest in thinking the same thing that I did. And I chased her around for 6 months, and she finally said yes on a first date. And 17 years of marriage later, to another Aggie graduate, we have 2 daughters, Emily, who's 10, Zoe, who's 4, and we are all thrilled to be back here. And it's going to be special for all of us to come back home. But I owe so much to Becky, the countless moves, the sacrifices that she has made as a coach's wife. Coach Martin's back there, he knows, all of us know, as a coach, the sacrifices that your family makes for you to be able to do what's special to you in your heart. And I want to thank my wife, who's at home taking care of the kids, but she'll be here shortly. I've got a lot of coaches to thank, and then I'll talk briefly about the vision of what I see for Aggie baseball. But it's been a long journey for me, and my coaching career started here in Las Cruces with Coach Avent. And you remember certain things that coaches did for you. And I remember running in the back of Aggie Memorial up the hill. And I was a transfer student trying to impress Coach Avent and everybody to be the best player. And I remember being at the top, running towards the top of the hill and trying to lead the conditioning. And I remember Coach Avent, I was one of the guys that he got on, and he said, "You don't understand." He said, "It's not about you getting to the top, it's about you pulling people with you. That's how we're going to be great." And that's a message that I learned from Coach Avent that has stuck with me forever, and I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity he gave me here to be an Aggie and to start my coaching career. And then I took off with traveling and not making any money and working countless hours and not seeing much of Becky and then in future our kids, but starting with Dennis Rogers at Riverside Community College, who taught me about being professional and running a real program. My first opportunity when I told Becky that we were going to Oregon State as a volunteer, I got off the phone. I had accepted the job without asking her, which is a great move on my part. And I took the job, and I got off, and I said, "Honey, we're going to the Pac-10. We're going to Corvallis. Can you believe it? How exciting is this?" And she just jumping up and down, and she said, "That's wonderful, Brian. I can't wait. Tell me about it. How much does it pay?" I said, "0. I'm the volunteer." That was a big break, though, with Coach Casey allowing me to join his staff, and things went from there, and I've been so blessed and fortunate. Rich Hill taught me about family and loyalty and culture at the University of San Diego, a huge, huge impact coach on my life. Coach Trapasso at Hawaii, who gave me 2 years of opportunity there. Coach Savage at UCLA, what he did for me in my career about being around a tremendous program and a friend, and then obviously one of the biggest impact and mentors of my life, and that's Gary Henderson at Kentucky. I played for Gary, coached with him at Oregon State, and he gave me 6 years at Kentucky to be his offensive coordinator, and I'm honored and blessed that he gave me that opportunity. I've always believed that this program could be great. I've thought that since I played here. I've thought that since I coached here, and I believe that because of the community. I think it's a baseball community that's waiting to erupt. I've always believed that with El Paso. With this state, with this community, I've always felt that you could really do something here, and my goals for this program is to build an RV program. And what I mean by that is that people want to come here for the weekend and watch Aggie baseball and camp their RVs. I had the opportunity to see a lot of that in the SEC for the last 6 years, and I think we can do that here. But it's going to start with 3 things that are going to be really important: inspiring a community, recruiting and developing and teaching within a system. And there's a plan in place to do that, and I'm excited to share with this community our vision for that. Our coaching staff will plan on getting out and being as visible as we possibly can. I think that's how you get people in the stands and get them excited. I think that's how we can get families to want to come here. I think our on-campus presentation and the experience here of being an Aggie will be something I'll be honored to share with recruits and their families, and I can't wait to get started on that. I promise you that our program will be one of goal setting, it'll be one of energy, and it will be one of culture. One of the biggest goals that I have is that when people are in the stands and they watch us play is that they get inspired by how we play, and that we're a family and we play together and we play hard and we play for something more than ourselves. It'll be hard work, but that's my number one goal going into this thing, and I'm very proud of the preparation that we have. I couldn't be more excited about the coaching staff that we're on the verge of solidifying. It'll be a coaching staff that's young, as myself, energized, loyal. It'll be a players first program that will serve, and we'll be great communicators because it'll be important to us. I can't wait to get started. I haven't stopped smiling for a week. I'm going to keep on smiling, and I'm here for you, and I cannot wait to jump back into this community. I'm honored, and I'm grateful, and it's a really special day for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, at this time we'll open it up to questions from anybody really, any members or fans.
Dr. Boston, what was it that made you decide that Coach Green was the one that you wanted to lead your program?
Well, it was a collective process. I think his presentation as part of the interview simply blew us all away. I mean, he was prepared. In fact, I've stated to others that in my 30 years of being engaged in the interview process, I don't think I've ever met a candidate who was as prepared as Brian was. I mean, there was no one who was a part of that process didn't have a clear understanding of where he wanted to go and how he was going to get us there. So it was, and we had 11 people on the search committee, and to have, you know, basically everyone on board, you know, it wasn't a whole lot of debate about him as the number one candidate.
Coach, how long have you felt like you're ready to be head coach?
It's a great question. I don't know if you ever truly know that you're ready, but you know in your heart when it's time to do it. And I've known for about, or wanted to, for about 2 to 3 years in my heart. It really started burning. And to be honest, I just hope that the stars would align someday, that this would open when I was prepared and I was, you know, a candidate that could be sold to the community and everybody be proud of it. When this job opened, I started, as Dr. Boston said, I started preparing for it with no guarantees other than I'm just going to work as hard as I can. And if the door is open for me to show them what we can do here, I'll be as excited as anybody to present. And as when it did, I was fired up.
Obviously, you kept your eye on the program. Like, I mean, what from afar, like, what stood out to you about it, like the last few years or whatever?
Well, you know, I'd like to stay away from that other than just as a fan watching it. There's been just so many glimpses of greatness here, you know, individually. And I can tell you a really special memory for me. This was from afar, but in 2002, when I was the hitting coach at the University of San Diego, we won the league and we opened up in the Tempe Regional against the Aggies. And I remember walking up to Coach Gary Ward, and I told him, I won't repeat what he said, but but I can tell you that I walked up to Coach Ward and I said, Coach Ward, this is a real honor for me. I'm an Aggie. I played here, I coached here, and to be playing you in my first Division I NC2A regional is quite an honor for me. And yeah, he responded. We did end up winning the game though. So.
Coach Green, could you describe kind of what your outlook is for the program, how you're going to run it? Is it going to be similar to other programs that you've been at, or is it going to be your brand?
That's a great question. You know, it's going to be a combination of all of them. I feel like I just feel so blessed to have been, being at Oregon State, being at UCLA, being at Kentucky, being at the University of San Diego, going to a Division III World Series at Chapman. It'll be pieces of all of them, and just trying to take what's been most successful at all of those. But at the end of the day, the three things that I had mentioned is really what seems to work at every program, and that's that the coaching staff recruits and develops at a high level, that they believe in teaching first and putting the players first, and that they get the community involved and they work to inspire it. I can tell you from a personal standpoint, just who I am, that the stamp on the program that's going to be really important to me is that we impact the culture, that our kids begin to like each other, they want to hang around, they want to come on the off days, but that's a combination of everything that I've been a part of, and every successful year that we've had, the regionals, the super regionals, and those programs, the one common denominator is that the kids like each other, and that the players and coaches are on the same page with respect and love, to be quite honest. So we'll go into it, and they'll know that we're in their corner, but they'll need to be in ours as well.
Coach, you said it was an honor to play Mexico State in your first regional appearance. How much sweeter is it that your first gig as a head coach is here? You didn't even have to bounce around. Your first job is back home.
If there's a bigger adjective than sweet, I'll use it. I can't, that was tough for me to get through that speech. My heart's always been here to have your first opportunity to be at your alma mater, at a place where it really means something to you. It couldn't be any more special. In fact, there isn't a greater opportunity for me and my family. This is the one I've always hoped for, and I'm just honored and thankful to Dr. Boston that this has happened, and I'm proud that it happened, because when your heart is that connected to something, I think it gets you out of bed a little extra earlier in the mornings to really do something for everybody who gave you that chance. It's really special.
Brian, why don't you share with the group your conversation with President Carruthers yesterday?
Well, it's not every day you sit down with, Noah's going to be answering that. It's not every day you sit down with a former governor or a guy that served on a president's cabinet. I can tell you this, when in about 5 minutes of sitting down with President Carruthers, it was absolutely game on for Coach Green. It was very clear that we were going to talk about specifically what we're going to do, not words or speeches, but specifically how are we going to get this done. He laid out his expectations. I was really excited when I left that room, just to know that I had a chance to sit down with a former governor and with a guy who's inspired. He's got a real vision for where this program should be. He's a baseball fan. He had a Dodger cup on his desk, Dad, and it was great. In fact, it was an honor.
Coach, with you leading an offense the way you did last year, and historically New Mexico State has been an offensive program, how exciting is that to come to Nebraska Field and just bring back that offensive power again?
I can't wait. We've had a lot of success at Kentucky the last few years, for a while offensively, and to have a chance to come into one of the most offensive parks in America, you got a chance to look smart. Maybe you can fool them for a little bit, but we'll have a system in place, and that system won't be anything more than a culture of here's an offensive approach that we'll go to work with immediately and hope to get some results in the spring, but we'll have 6 months of preparation with approach. The field itself, it presents great opportunities. If you're a position player in this region of the country, how could you not want to come and play in the sunshine and play in a legitimate offensive park? So really excited.
Any other questions?
You are a Cubs fan, aren't you?
Do I have to answer that?
Well, he's your faculty rep, okay. Yeah, I think.
Actually, we've signed the contract, so no, I'm not, Jim.
Coach, I guess maybe one more thing. I guess we've heard about some of the facility things that are happening
Yeah.
over there. Maybe just talk about that and how excited you are about that.
I've reached out to Mike and Judy Johnson, and I did that early on in the process just as an alum. I've already begun to put together our recruit presentation, and you can bet that those pictures of the potential facility are all over it. nothing more exciting than that. For me, coming back, been a long time since I've been to the facility. As a coach, you never get an opportunity to come back to the alumni games. You're coaching, but to see what's already happened in the backside of the field with the team room and the locker room, and everything is in place there. And now with the new facility that's coming in, Tyler, I think we've got a chance to generate some real exciting recruiting momentum, and for people to give that much and that way is again, it's another indication as a coach that when people are willing to do that for you and your program and your family, get out of bed a little bit earlier and go to work and make sure that everybody knows what the goals are, because people are out there that really care.
Anything else? Question?
Do you know when you'll have a coaching staff?
I hope very soon. You know, I've had as many unofficial conversations as possible. I have a plan in place. There's a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, but it should be very shortly, and really excited about those candidates that are interested in building on that. My phone has blown up over the course of the last week when the rumors started swirling, and it shows the power of this place. A lot of people want to be involved.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.